Painkiller!
What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Wrath2501 here. Alright, guys. Ooh, let me fix some stuff here. Try this again. Alright. What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Wrath2501 here. Alright, guys. So, been a while since I've done anything from Popcross Studios, so I'm back with this series he's been doing. This is Escape from BackCells Prison Part 3. Alright, this is the Part 3 of the backrooms things he's been doing. So these are pretty interesting. So let's see what this guy's got for us. I do like the stories he's doing. This guy needs to have a comic series. I'm just saying this right now. He needs to start doing this shit. Alright, so let's get started and go.
Time to continue the escape
Bit of a long
from
one,
BackCells
but not
Prison.
too long.
As I've been doing in this series, I'm taking entities from the backrooms and I'm redesigning them into supervillains, locked away in the most intense prison in the multiverse. But today there are actually going to be 5 drawings, and the middle one is one of my own original characters, the unkillable Kate, who plays a pivotal part in this story. I hope you all enjoy, and let's get into it, shall we? Let's go.
Interesting.
Hit like if you want, subscribe if you feel like, but either way, enjoy the show. Day 21, trapped in BackCells Prison. After my new friend Anna saved me from the sea butcher, I woke up next to her in a creepy dark cave, but we didn't really have much time to chat. Not 2 minutes later, we were attacked by a creepy, budget-looking Spider-Man. He was crawling on the walls of the cave,
that's messed
leaping
up.
around
That's
and
mean.
spitting webs at us.
That
from
was
on out.
cruel, man.
Well, this weirdo chased
Budget-looking
us. He muttered a
Spider-Man.
bunch of
Dude.
stuff. He kept talking about himself in the third person, calling himself Frankenspider. He said he was going to bring us back to Queen Arachna. Anna told me how the place we were in at that point, level 8 of BackCells Prison, was mostly run by the Arachna gang, a bunch of people with spider powers that had all teamed up years ago. They didn't run this level to the same insane degree that the Sea Butcher somehow managed to kill anything on level 7, but they did have a pretty solid run of the place. Of course, that was stuff I didn't learn till after we spent half an hour running away from this freak. I fired a bunch of the green glob blasts from my hands at him as we ran.
Gross.
The more I used those things, the more I realized that as an attack, they're not super effective. I think my powers really are more meant to be used for healing than anything else. Luckily, Anna had my back.
I wouldn't want to touch
She's
it,
no
though. I'd be like, ew,
unkillable
you just
Kate, but she
freaking
can
big-ass
really hold her
local
own
at
in a
me.
fight. At one point, Frankenspider webbed my feet to the ground and made me fall over. Anna stopped and got between me and him. Spider Guy leapt at her with his claws out, and he just flew right through her. Her body rippled like water as he flopped through her and smashed into some rocks. She leapt onto his back, grabbed his head, said she was sorry about this, then smashed his head into the rocks again.
Ooh, damn,
He
girl.
was still kinda moaning. He clearly wasn't unconscious or dead or anything, as she ran over and helped me yank the webs off my legs. It took us a few minutes, and as we were finally getting them off, Frankenspider was already getting up again. But before he could come at us, the ground below him started to crack. He sorta shrieked and leapt onto the ceiling, just as the rocks beneath him exploded open, and out jumped this beastly dude with shovels or drills or something popping out of his arms. He yelled up at the Spider Guy.
Off my turf, arachnid scum.
Nice voice change there. I do appreciate that. Done very well. I can respect that. That's pretty cool. Like he said, budget Spider-Man, so pretty good.
The spider dude leapt all over the place, spitting webbing at this tanky guy, but he just tore off the webbing like it was tissue paper. He dove at the ground and drilled back through it and disappeared. A few seconds later, he exploded out of the wall right next to the spider guy. He tackled him and slammed him to the floor, but Frankenspider
Why are you
managed
watching
to wiggle
this and
free.
not getting the hell out
After
of there?
that, he just kind of leapt off, yelling back that the Arachna gang will kill you someday, Rev. The big guy then looked over to us. I mean, he turned to us, I guess. It was hard to tell exactly where he was looking because his helmet covered his whole face. Sort of like the goopy-haired lady I'd fought back in Bestar's arena, but
that
a
was
lot
Nightmare
less
Fuel. That
creepy
thing is
looking.
like...
Still,
that is
though,
some
I wasn't
Eldritch horror
exactly
shit right
excited
there.
about the idea of fighting this guy, seeing how easily he scared off Frankenspider. He stomped over to us and leaned in real close and said,
You don't look like one of those little spider dorks. What are you doing on my turf?
We told him we were just trying to get out of there. He looked at us for another minute, like he was trying to decide what to do or something. Then he just thrust his arm out over our heads and made me jump. I thought for a sec he was going to try and squish us or something, but he just pointed.
Exit's that way. Strangle Wrangle used to block the way out, but I dealt with him. I find you again, and I'm not being so friendly next time. Got it?
We thanked him and ran off. I didn't really know what to look for exit-wise, but Anna said Kate had told her that the exit for this place was just like a big hole in the ground. But then Anna went on to say also it would be too far to jump possibly, and maybe we should have gotten ropes somehow, or maybe we should ask Rev if he could help us down through it. And
Probably
she just
not a good
kind
idea.
of rambled on like that for a while as we
Well,
walked.
yeah,
not
given the
really
trauma.
coming to any conclusion. We were moving for the next 2 hours or so, and that finally gave us a chance to talk, and we both had a lot of things to tell each other. Anna had wanted to know everything that had happened to me when I'd gotten trapped in Gentleman Vestar's fighting arena, and how I'd gotten sent to BackCells prison in the first place.
Mini Cthulhu.
Which led us both to some pretty crazy realizations, because just before randomly clipping into this place, Anna had found a gem that had given her her powers, just like me.
Yep. I would go for the Underminer, though, rather than Rev. Underminer sounds better.
Anna had gotten clipped into BackCells 5 months ago, a day after stepping on a blue crystal that had embedded in her foot. It gave her some enhanced speed and strength, like me, but instead of getting healing powers like my crystal gave me, her crystal turned her all scaly and gave her the power to breathe underwater, see in the dark, and, coolest in my opinion, to phase through living things. She let me swipe my hand through her body, and it sort of rippled like it had when Frankenspider jumped through her.
That's gross,
Her
dude.
body could only phase through living things when she held her breath, though, so she couldn't just always be letting things fly through her, and she couldn't move through walls or the ground. But she figured she might be able to someday if she practiced, like how I thought I might be able to fly. That gave us both a bunch of new theories about why we'd gotten sent here. Maybe anyone who finds one of these super crystal things just gets sent in here for some reason, or maybe they even brought us here somehow. Anna
Possibly.
kind of rambled on for a few more minutes about a bunch of theories that all seem to contradict each other. It's weird, when we're running or fighting, she seems to make decisions super quick, but outside of a survival situation, it's like her brain has to go through a million different possibilities about everything. She's one of the most indecisive people I've ever met. Anyway, I eventually got her back onto her story. Anna survived on her own for a month, before getting tricked, like I'd been, into getting tossed into Gentleman Vestar's fighting arena on level 5. Like me, again, that pink-haired lady, the unkillable Kate, helped Anna out, but apparently the crowd had liked them fighting together, so Vestar kept Anna around as a tag team for Kate. Anna was stuck in that arena for 3 months, but they kept putting her and Kate up against tougher inmates, and Kate was doing a good job training Anna to fight, but was also still getting hurt a lot trying to protect Anna in the arena. They both needed to get out of there. But the thing is, Kate wasn't willing to leave there until she killed Vestar. She had a pretty big grudge against the guy, for good reason. Anna may have
He's
been
an
trapped in there
asshole.
for 3 months, but Kate had been trapped in his arena for 13 years. She clipped into BackCells when she was 5 years old, and had been fighting in Vestar's arena since she was 12. More insane still, she didn't have any powers. Daily, she was fighting people with crazy and creepy abilities, and she'd never been beaten. She was just that tough a fighter. Anyway, Kate eventually came up with a plan to get Anna out. Kate knew that anyone who made Vestar really mad, or who knew something they shouldn't, would get sent to the Sea Butcher. Sea Butcher had killed everyone else on level 7 of BackCells, and anyone who fell into that level would unknowingly be drawn towards the Sea Butcher to get, butchered. That meant if Anna could get sent to level 7 and somehow make friends with the Butcher, hoping the fact that they were both fish people would give them some common ground, then when Kate eventually killed Vestar and escaped, she'd be able to find Anna by just clipping into level 7 and being drawn to wherever the Sea Butcher was. It sounded like a massive leap to me, but Kate also told Anna how to escape level 7 and go on without her if Sea Butcher couldn't be convinced to be even a little friendly to a fellow fish person. Bestar sees Kate as his main attraction in his arena, so he'd never send her to the Sea Butcher, even though she knows way more about Bestar's operations and plans and things he's learned about BackCells than anyone else. But anytime Kate tries to tell someone else anything, Bestar sends them to be butchered. So she made sure Bestar overheard her telling Anna about the key that could get someone out of BackCells that Bestar had been looking for years, and he really didn't want that many people knowing it existed. And that was the only excuse he needed to transport Anna to level 7, where luckily the Sea Butcher had been willing to keep Anna around as company. That had been a month ago, so I guess Kate had changed her mind about joining Anna, because the last thing Kate had told me to do was find Anna and tell her that Kate wasn't coming. After I'd told Anna everything that Kate had said, she got a lot sadder. She didn't really want to escape without Kate, and to be honest, I'd rather be going through this place with a tank like Kate too, but it didn't really seem like we had a choice. Of course, soon enough, we'd realize that Kate wasn't even done helping us yet. When we finally got to the hole in the floor to the next level, we rested there for a few hours, and in that time, someone came to find us. A few someones, actually.
A few someones. Okay, so that's Kate. Damn, she looks like she got her ass kicked.
Someone was skipping through the caves towards us, and I
Samantha.
half considered just jumping into the hole to escape.
Yeah.
But when the girl came into view, she really didn't look that intimidating. I mean,
That is not
I
a
feel
good
like I
sign,
should just
dude.
assume everyone in here wants us dead, but Anna actually recognized this girl. She looked like she was in her late
Once
teens
again,
and
multiple
had a
poses.
sort of cat costume on, with some bandages holding some of the parts together.
Really?
Anna didn't seem sure at first if she should be ready to fight, but she asked,
What are you doing here, Samantha?
"Nice to see you too, Anna. Relax. Bestar didn't send me. Your pal Kate did. She finally called in that favor I owed her."
I thought Kate was gonna use that to help her escape.
Yeah, well, she changed her mind after Bestar got suspicious of why Kate got the glowy green wonder here sent so quickly to the Sea Butcher. Bestar sent Transporter to go check and make sure the Sea Butcher had eaten the kid, and now he knows that you're both still alive. He's certainly not happy about that, so he's sending Skinner to really finish you off. Anna's knees buckled at the mention of that name. Turns out Skinner is this 8-foot-tall freak with huge arms and legs who used to be a serial killer.
I think his name is probably literal.
Before he'd kill his
As in
victims,
Skinner.
you know, I don't even really want to write it down, but let's just say Skinner wasn't the name
I
he
knew
was
it.
born with.
I knew it.
He'd been lobotomized, but even basically brain dead, he'd kept killing people. Eventually, he'd been sent here, and Bestar had managed to hypnotize him or brainwash him or something, so now he goes after whoever Bestar wants him to go after. Of course, being told that some freaky serial killer was coming after us wasn't actually the favor Kate had called in from Samantha. It was luckily something way more helpful than just that. Samantha pulled out a picture that looked like it had been taken on an old Polaroid camera or something. She handed it to Anna. It was a shot of a tropical forest with a sandy beach just past the trees. Samantha said, "You two hold on to each other and rip that screenshot in half, and it'll transport you straight to level 48. There, Kate said, you can go find Jerry. He used to hang out on levels 1 and 2 until he got on the wrong side of a few too many people up there. I don't know how, but Kate said Jerry will help you two get to the level, fight for your life. No idea why anyone would ever want to go there, but if you've got a death wish, then that's your deal, I suppose." It would have been nice to have more time to ask questions, but we soon after heard a brawl happening farther down the cave.
Yeah.
Then, after a few seconds, our tanky sort of friend from earlier, Rev, came barreling down the tunnel. I thought he was coming for us at first, but he wasn't running towards anything. He was running away from something.
Oh, damn.
He was bleeding all over the place as he went past us and leapt into the hole to the next level. Just as he dove by, I noticed that his exposed arms were missing a lot of skin.
Okay.
Lumbering down the tunnel came a guy in a yellow suit with goggles, a dead-eyed face, and giant hands with a bunch of suction cups all over his palms. Chunks of skin
Creepy.
hung off of some of them. Samantha turned to us and said, "Okay, well, that's all the time I've got for you, so happy trails and good luck." She patted Anna on the arm, and as she did, Samantha's eyes suddenly glazed over yellow for a second, and her body shook. When the moment passed, she took a deep breath. She then stared, jaw-dropped at us both. You're actually going to escape." But before she could finish the thought, Skinner started sprinting towards us with his arms outstretched. We all scattered,
That's
and
creepy,
Skinner
though. He
first
draws
went
it on
for
the
Samantha.
hands.
She was about as acrobatic as Frankenspider, so she managed to leap over and around him, but he just kept coming. I looked over to Anna to see what she wanted to do, but she was already in fight mode. She ran right between Skinner and Samantha, and with a terrified look on her face, she waved her arms at him. He thrust a hand towards her, and it went right through her rippling body. His attention stayed on Anna, and she lured him towards
His
the
eyes are
hole.
like there.
He swung at her again and again, grunting furiously as his hands kept passing through her. She kept her breath held, but I didn't know how long she could do that. When she had Skinner right near the edge,
Stress
she just kept
situations-
swiping at her.
a stressful
I
situation
ran
could
around
be
behind
short.
him, got a ways back, then sprinted towards him. I tackled as hard as I could into his back, and felt like I'd practically run into a brick wall. He didn't even budge, but he had felt it. He whipped around and reached for me. Samantha suddenly leapt onto his back and dug one of her claws right through his goggles and slashed his eye. He didn't even scream. He just grunted and grabbed her arm. Then he yanked his fingers back off her, and she shrieked as a chunk of her skin tore off in his hand. Samantha fell to the ground, and with flesh-dripping hands and a mangled eye, Skinner turned to me again. I looked out over the cave and made a gut decision.
The only thing you
I
do is
ducked
kill that
under
damn thing.
Skinner's legs, yelled for Anna to breathe, and I grabbed her and tackled her off the cliff. I activated my powers and just prayed this would work. We fell and Skinner leapt in after us, but as he kept falling, we slowed. I didn't know how my powers worked, but I just kept thinking, float, float, float. As Skinner fell farther and farther
Floater.
into the darkness below, Anna and I stopped in midair. It took a ton of focus, and I wouldn't exactly call it flying, but soon I managed to hover us back up to Samantha, who is still writhing in pain. I could heal her, but if Skinner could get back up from the exit, we'd be in trouble all over again. So Anna and I grabbed hands, leaned up against Samantha, then Anna pulled back out the picture of level 48, and we ripped it in half.
To be continued. If they go down that many levels, they should be safe from this freak for a while.
I am super excited about how this story's going and where
Yeah,
it's
it is
going
good.
to go. If you haven't seen the previous episodes in this series,
Why
I
is
highly
this not a
recommend going
comic
back to them
yet?
because this is
The
a
hell, man?
continuing
It's a hell of a
storyline.
lot better than
Or you
any
might also
shit
like my
Marvel's
Pokemon
been-
as SCP
DC's
series.
been putting out lately.
Which, by the way, the episode that's coming out on Monday is going to be a compilation of all my Pokemon as SCP's videos so far, but there will be one brand new drawing and lore at the beginning of that compilation. Then the following Friday, a week from today, there's not going to be a video. Sorry about that. Just need to take a little bit
Traitor!
of time off,
Just kidding.
rejuvenate my creative energy, and we'll be
Yeah.
back in the swing of things the following Monday. Hope you all understand and don't miss
Well, this
me
is
too
weeks
much.
old,
But
so-
besides that, that's all for today, except of course for ending this video on some kind of positive or inspiring note. And the thought I want to leave people with today is an idea from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, which is that if you improve at something by 1% every day, just tiny little 1%, after a year, you will be 37 times better at that thing. That's a pretty wild concept, but looking back at some of the art I made earlier in this channel's history, I can definitely see how that's the case. Hope that's inspiring to someone out there. Thanks so much for
Yeah,
watching,
that's
everybody.
true.
I love you all, and I'll see you all when I get back from my week off. Goodbye.
All right, so that was interesting. Man, the story he puts around it, the drawings are good, and the story he puts around them is just awesome. Somebody needs to get this guy a comic book deal. I swear to God, somebody needs to. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Like this video, subscribe. Definitely click on the link to the original. Like and subscribe over at Popcross Studios. And I will see you guys next time. Tune in every day for new content. Bye-bye.